Gentlemen, the time has come once again to discuss things.
I'm not a 13-year-old girl. I just,
You talk about how cute boys are and how you want shit behind your back. You're a 13-year-old girl. You spend all day in your room talking on the phone.
I don't have a phone. Well, I do, but I don't.
Skype is a phone. Skype is a You are a 13-year-old girl.
I'm not a...
And on that, hi everyone. Let's welcome, or you are welcome to this week's episode of Geeky Gentlemen. I am Sid Part 2. Joining me today is Milan Jeftik 1992. And Bill couldn't make it, and no one knows what happened to Mr. Air Fusion. He disappeared off the face of the earth. There is a search party looking for him. I was just discussing how Milan is in fact a 13-year-old girl, so to prove this point, we're going to talk about a Disney movie.
Dude, just because I like Disney movies does not prove the fact that I'm a 12-year-old girl.
Well, no, you're a 13-year-old girl, and it's not just the Disney movies, it's the fact that you spend a lot of time talking about cute boys and how hot guys are, and that you spend the majority of your time sitting in your room talking on the phone.
Shut up, I so totally don't. God, you're such a dick. Oh, God.
And you think you look fat? And... There's so many parallels. Milan is totally a 12-year-old. Or a 13-year-old girl. Anyway. Everyone, welcome to this week's episode of Geeky Gentlemen. Today we'll be discussing The Princess and the Frog. I'd originally hijacked Milan's topic for this because I know he'd watched it recently. I'd watched it kind of recently too. And we were going to try to have Fusion on, so it just seemed like a good idea. And that all fell apart, so what you're about to get is kind of a vague-ish review of The Princess and the Frog, because, I mean, it's been like about a month or so for me, and I think Milan was high when he watched it, so this should be an experience.
Yep.
Okay,
I was... Sorry. They're just fucking screaming.
Okay, well, just leave your mic on mute. So we'll go ahead and start. So The Princess and the Frog, at the moment, is Disney's last 2D animated film. And if I remember correctly, it didn't do very well financially. So it might be their last ever 2D animated film. Sorry guys, like I said, it's been a couple weeks, so I'm going to pull up a list of character names and stuff, just so I make sure I don't mess up.
Finally, they're gone. My dad just backhanded me, because... Shut up! I told him to leave, because he was screaming at you, and then he just boxed my ear, like I'm a child. I pay for your table, you despicable old bastard! Anyway, yeah, when I watched Princess and the Frog, I was high as a motherfucker. And it was amazing. Oh my god. It was great. Oh, it was great. It was just you have no clue how good it was, man.
Mm-hmm.
It was just brilliant. It was like seeing shit. I'm like, oh my god, man. It's, black people and frogs and alligators and magic and Disney with black people. It's amazing.
Disney with black people. That's really what this movie is, and it's trying really hard to do that intelligently and make it seem like it's perfectly natural, but it is very much Disney with black people.
I don't get, I liked it. It's not like, it's so weird. It's like, they do it and...
Well, I'm not saying it's not good. I'm saying it's very obvious what they're trying to do and showing that, oh, we're not a racist company anymore. We are totally inclusive.
Yeah, well, they've always been inclusive. I mean, they had, like, Aladdin, he is, Muslim, and you got, like,
Yep, they did Native Americans, they did Asians, they did, let me rephrase that. They did the Chinese, they did Native Americans, they did the Middle Eastern peoples, all before they did African Americans, who, as you'll know from Disney history, have been very, very poorly portrayed. Let's be generous.
Come on, that was like 45 years ago, even more so.
Which is that long because why? There are people still alive that were around.
I'm not trying to excuse their bullshit, the whole Jim Crow and Dumbo. Like, we get all that, but everyone was. And I'm not trying to excuse it. It's just bullshit. I mean, like, they've tried out. They've changed.
I know, I
now.
get that. What I'm saying is that this is very clearly an attempt to not erase their history, but say, see, we've moved past that.
Yeah, that's
and
a good
so,
thing,
Yeah, I get that, but it doesn't feel. It doesn't feel natural. It doesn't feel like this. Like every single character is here because they're their own fully realized character, and this is the way the writer wanted them to be. It seemed like someone from Disney walked into the writer's room and was like, we need a bunch of black people in a movie.
I disagree.
Right.
I mean, it's not like, Disney characters are the pinnacle of fucking character development. I'm like, it's not Shakespeare, it's fucking Disney. And, like, I found them, like, weirdly, really good. I mean, it's not, I'm not saying that because of some, ridiculous white guilt, because I'm Russian and I don't have that shit.
Oh, yes. The Russians are the most unracist people on the planet.
Oh no, we're racist in the way that we've never seen like anyone before. We're surrounded by ice and snow. We're the people at the end. Like, if you guys watch Game of Thrones, we're the wildlings. We're in the snow wastes. We're like when we see like a black person, like, oh, it's a dancing shadow. What's going on? What is that? We don't know. Like, we literally don't know. When we see anyone who like.
Oh my god, Russians are wildlings. That's so perfect. And Milan usually gets mad at me for my stereotypes of the Russian people.
My father is coming in and he's yelling at you, Ian, that he's going to eventually have sex with your mother.
What the fuck is wrong with you,
He's going to...
sick person,
Oh, it's fucking true. It's funny.
Going all around America and have sex with me and his mother.
Well, that's what Papa said just now.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
That's disrespecting Ian's mother and you so many levels.
I'm not disrespecting his mom. My dad is disrespecting Ian's mom.
Why would you say to Ian's fate or fate to his cyber?
He laughed. He enjoyed it. It was hilarious. It's crazy old...
I enjoy the notion that your father thinks he can even fucking get it up.
Exactly. That's hysterical. And don't interrupt, Mickey. This is not your fight. Anyway. So, yeah, like, I watched Princess...
Well, no, like, to get back to the racial thing, though, like, I don't think it's bad. I just think it's very obvious that they're trying to... It's very apologetic. Let me put it that way.
I don't think it's apologetic. I think it's just like, oh, shit, we should have done this, like, 10 years ago. I got that.
Yeah, that's really it, though. It really should have been around, the time of Pocahontas, I think.
I suppose so, but Pocahontas, like, it weirdly doesn't feel like a Disney movie, Pocahontas, because the art style's so weird. It feels more like a DreamWorks picture, actually.
A little bit, but that's a whole different thing. No, it's just like, it feels very much like in that, it should have come out in that time where Disney was like, no, we're not racist. Like, I was watching The Onion the other day, and they had this, like, little quick bit about Disney. It's like, Disney executive says that their next character will be a complete chauvinist stereotype of women because they've built up enough goodwill among minorities and women. I'm like, that's exactly what Disney should do at this point. Just make another fucking Cinderella or Snow White that's just completely dependent on a man to come and save her, and she's like got a racial stereotype friend. Like Jar Jar Binks is her best friend.
You know what? It's weird. Like I really kind of enjoyed it because originally the story was meant to be something. Wasn't supposed to be some sort of like story told in Egypt or whatever. It's like ancient history, but with black folks, kind of like a fairy, kind of going back to that whole fairy tale theme.
Well, that would have been fine. I don't mind the time period, and actually, I like the time period because this gives me some of my favorite music in a Disney film.
Oh yeah, the music is great. I love fucking jazz. Like, it's weird. Like,
yeah,
I'm not like jazz is really good. Like, say what you will, but I've been going into, like, I've been hitting, like, electro swing, like, ridiculously big, and I love it when they do, like, old-timey jazz records. They do, like, old-timey jazz records and just, you know, do them all like electro swingy. I love it. I've just been walking around and just listening to electro swing at, like, 3 a.m. in the morning. You know?
Okay, that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Oh, not at all. But the music is great. I love the music.
Yeah, I really like the music, and I like the movie. Overall, this is a good movie. But because it's Disney, I think it's really hard to look past that what they're trying to do is very, very apparent.
Well, the thing is, like, in like corporate-wise, yeah, you could say, oh, they're just trying to be like, oh, look, we're friends with black people. But, you know, that can be said for most companies, but, like, the product in its own, like Death of the Author and all that, it's strong enough by itself for me to just say, you know what, it's a good enough film. I don't really like to, you know, look at the studio itself. Obviously, it's Disney, and they have, like, hey, we're friends with everyone. You know, and whatever, you know.
And, like, I'm not trying to make it a downgrade on the film. Like, that's not going to factor into how I feel about the film at all. But this is something that we have to talk about.
I suppose so, yeah.
In the context of this film, because that's part of what helped this film sell what little it did. Was the fact it's a black Disney princess.
Oh yeah, and what a princess she is. Oh my gosh, she's so cute. So cute.
I mean, I guess it's kind of hard to attribute attractiveness to things that are not real, but I guess Milan has experience with that I don't.
Oh, definitely. You know, because man,
little quick jabs like that.
Yeah, it's just I love Ian because he just insults my mental health all the time. I guess it does it so subtly. It's like, oh, by the way, Milan, you're a schizophrenic. Like, I feel bad.
Just crying.
Like, I'm not crying. I'm just impressed how, like you know those, like, the Mean Girls films. You know, like how you have those really mean plastics in those, you know, those kind of movies you had in the early 2000s. Well, yeah. You know, you're like that, but you're that mean girl, but grown up and with a penis. And you've refined your skill at making people hurt on the inside to such a point that the person getting hurt on the inside can't help but be impressed by the sheer level of skill that you have at hurting them. So it's just like...
Actually, let me cut in with this with a little story from my past.
Yeah.
Unsurprisingly, I was bullied as a child. And I found that a method that... Actually, you know, I didn't intend this at first, but I found a method that works surprisingly well. Was, like, I would legitimately find some of the things that, like, boys would say to me on a bus or whatever kind of funny, and I'd just, like, laugh at it, and it just totally throws them right the fuck off. Like,
what would they say to you?
I'm insulting you. I don't even remember. I just remember laughing at something a bully said, and it just threw them off. I was in, like, elementary school at the time. But it's just like, you know, if you give people that reaction that they're not expecting, they really do kind of like back up and go, what? Is this guy on my side or what? What's going on? I'm confused now. But yeah, let's get back to the movie though. No, so like, I just think it's very important to mention that what Disney's trying to do, the goodwill that Disney's trying to create here, is very, very obvious while watching the film. And it's kind of that two-for-one thing, having not only a black character, but a black female character. They're really trying to cash in on, you know, a lot of the criticisms that have been thrown at Disney over the years. One, they don't have any people in their movies that aren't white, and two, all their women are complete, you know, useless damsels in distress.
Well, that's not true.
Stereotypes. That's the criticism thrown at them.
Mm-hmm.
I'm explaining the criticism, not my feelings on it.
Mm-hmm.
And as Milan said, that's certainly not entirely true in every situation, but particularly early Disney, you know, the broad's fucking worthless.
The broad's fucking worthless. That should be on a fucking t-shirt. The broad is fucking worthless. Delightful.
No, but anyway, and so, like, you look at Princess and the Frog, and not only is it Disney with black people, but it's also, you know, you look at Tiana, I think I'm saying her name right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Tiana, and her whole thing is to be a business owner. And it's like, yeah, that's a great goal for a woman to have. And it's good that little girls are watching this and they can see that they can dream about that kind of thing too. But it's very obvious that's what they're trying to do.
Not really.
You know?
Like, it's just like, you sound like in a weird way, it's funny because you're not exactly white yourself, but you sound like Arini in a weird way, like that quasi, that Canadian skinhead that I made fun of.
No, don't fucking talk about some random person that no one knows.
Yeah, I suppose so, but it's basically a little while ago. Like, I've been fucking making...
Dude, no, this is gonna take like 20 minutes to fucking...
No, it's funny, it's weird how when people say that, oh...
Alright, I'm putting you... Hold on. I'm putting you on the clock. You have exactly 1 minute to get through this.
Okay.
Go.
Well, I mean, it's still... You have those people who say, oh, you're just being way too liberal for the sake of it. And they don't really talk about how, being overly, like, inclusive is a bad thing. They say, oh, you're doing just this, nice things because you want to seem like you're nice. And, like, yeah, the nice thing is still a good thing. Inclusiveness, multiculturalism is a good fucking thing. I mean, where's the bad? You're just kind of bitching, but you're not really pointing out anything that is actually wrong with it. And that's what I find most with those guys on the right and the red pill and those kind of insane fucking right, quasi-fascist motherfuckers. And like that's why I don't understand. If the thing is, sure, I understand what you're coming from, where it's all like, oh, they're, just doing this because they want to scrub off the barnacles of bad taste that, they've accumulated, like, from 60 years ago. And I'm like, well, the fact that they're doing a good thing now, it's still a good thing on its own, even if it wasn't Disney by itself.
And I'm not saying that the thing itself is bad. I'm saying it's very obvious what they're trying to do.
Yeah, well, obviously.
I'm saying that's very obvious. And but you keep fucking coming at me like I'm complaining about the movie itself.
Oh.
I'm talking about what they're trying to do is very evident from watching it.
Mm.
And that the character of Tiana is a bit of a 2-in-1. Because not only is she African American, she's a woman that has a positive goal, and that's a good thing.
Yeah,
that little girls now have a strong female to look up to. But you cannot tell me that you're watching this and you can't see that that's exactly the intention of what they're trying to do.
Well, yeah, because that's the movie.
Well, no, but that's not just the movie. It's very, very much so a mandate that the writers were given. It's very much so Disney trying to, make up for their past mistakes. And I'm not saying that that's a bad thing, but I'm saying it takes some of the genuine moments of this film away from it in a certain respect. Because when you have that in the back of your head, you can't help but think, well, here's Disney trying to clean up their shit and get rid of their whole Nazism, and then watch this and go, oh no, it's perfectly fine completely on its own. There's a disconnect. You're distanced from the movie because you have to be thinking about Disney.
Not really. I just watch a film to watch a film.
Yeah, sure, right. Fuck you. You're such a fucking apologist. Just everything is good to Milan. Nothing is awful.
I'm sorry, I guess it's just a cultural thing, I grew up in a world like, oh my god, Ninja Turtles. I wasn't thinking about the fucking, political and social...
No child thinks about the political consequences and aspects of a fucking thing. We're talking about this as adults.
Well, it's a
fucking
fucking movie for kids. It's good.
I didn't really want to fucking spend this much time on it, but you keep fucking arguing with me about it.
I'm sorry.
You keep fucking getting on my ass about it. I'm like, the movie's good on its own, Milan. I agree with you, but the fucking political consequences, the racial, stereotypical, and feminine side of this thing is apparent, and I just want you to fucking acknowledge that.
I don't know. I don't know. Like, I suppose, take it from an American standpoint. I think I do understand what you're kind of talking about. I don't know. Maybe it's like Dude, stop touching yourself.
I'm not touching myself. I just fucking rant moded on you because you wouldn't shut the fuck up and let me finish a point.
Okay, sorry. So, did I just leave you out of breath?
Yes, because I had to yell at you so much. I'll be back. I'm going to get a soda. Keep the people entertained.
Okay. Well, when I was a child, I was, no, I'm
not keep them entertained with fucked up shit. Family-friendly entertainment.
Okay. Let's see. I participated in an orgy not too long ago. That was fun. Does it count if the girls are clothed? Oh no. The girl.
Oh, here we go.
The girls were naked, but everyone else. No, yeah. I think it's kind of technically classifies as an orgy. The girls were nude, but the men were not.
Okay, let's get off of this completely because fuck the viewers. There they go.
Oh, what viewers? What viewers? What are you talking?
This really is just a show for Milan and I to watch.
Yeah, I highly doubt, since black people are mentioned in this. I'm not gonna watch this because veiled undercurrent of cultural racism. Blah.
Okay then. Anyway, so let's talk about the movie. Milan, how do you want to go about this?
About what?
Where do you want to start on the movie since we've gotten the politics out of the way? See, I had this whole plan in my head where we talk about the politics first, very briefly, and that way we could move past it and just talk about the movie, which I agree is pretty good on its own. So where would you like to start on the movie?
Well, beforehand, I watched a video not too long ago by Melina Pendulum. She was talking about how, in movies and TV shows, they always have the supernatural stand-in for the oppressed minority, and how it doesn't really work. When you have minorities in the same show, then you can't really use werewolves to talk about racial issues and whatever. And hey, in True Blood, vampires are gays. Okay. So apparently we're all just a bunch of blood-sucking monsters, thanks. But the same is kind of said about The Lion King. You said Disney had never done black, a movie with black people in it, but they did one in Africa with lions and stuff. And I guess some
voiced by all white people except for James Earl Jones.
Exactly. And it's just kind of weird because it's just does that count? Not really, because, like I said before, it's anthropomorphic animals, not actual black people.
And you run the risk with anthropomorphic animals voiced by and having the characteristics of black people demeaning black people.
I suppose so.
Crows and fucking Dumbo.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch that pink elephant scene. I imagine the pink elephant scene is kind of like what Milan's dreams are like.
That's just how I look at the world.
Look out, pink elephant. There you go, Milan. There's an idea for a video for you to do that no one will watch. Do a cover of Pink Elephants. Sing it.
I can. I really can sing, actually.
That'd be a good idea for you to do for a video.
Yeah. If only somebody would watch it.
Anyway, because I think you could have an interesting take on that. Anyway, so yeah, I agree with you. This is, and I guess we're not getting off the politics, so fair enough. This is very much Disney's and black people, and I thought it was funny because you're all like, Disney and black people. I'm like, that's exactly what this movie is. And then you fucking continued to disagree with me for the next 10 minutes. Even though you're the one that pointed out the very obvious, elephant, pink elephant, if you will, in the room. So, yeah.
Yeah.
But no, I agree with you. All right, so, where about the movie itself, not the world outside the movie, where in the movie itself would you like to start talking about?
Well, I really like the just the whole color palette. But I guess it's just a gorgeous looking film, and it's animated really well. And it was just such an amazing trip to see, traditional 2D Disney animation done in that wondrous, colorful style again. I mean, nowadays everything's fucking 3D, and I'm like, yeah, 3D is good, but 2D animation has that certain quality to it that, that I'll definitely miss, because it's really a dying art. You know?
I mean, yeah, I was talking about that while your father was yelling at you, but, like, this could very well be Disney's last 2D film.
And that's kind of heartbreaking because, you know, I'd love to see more films like this, you know?
Mm-hmm. Well, it's just like this barely made a buck.
Yeah, and that sucks. You know, the marketing was good. I don't know what's wrong. Why didn't it make money?
I don't think it's that it's 2D and the other movies are 3D. I don't think, like, kids watch. You know, I had my nephew over the other day, and I was watching Star Wars. And he goes, "Oh, the Star Wars cartoon." And then I switched to something else later, and he goes, "Oh, this cartoon." And I think kids just see it all as cartoons. You know, anything that is not people is just cartoons to them. So I don't think it's that. I don't think kids don't want to go to a 2D cartoon or a 2D animated film as opposed to a 3D animated film.
I suppose so.
But, you know, Frozen broke all the records, so...
Yeah, well, it has two white girls, you know, kissing and stuff. Let it go! Let's turn away and close the door!
I was thinking about this when I saw that movie. Last 20 minutes are absolute shit, by the way, but when I saw that movie, this thought crept back into my head. So you and I did the Spyro Let's Play a couple of months back.
Yeah.
And in that, you were talking about, I went to go see Frozen, and I was like, oh, okay, is it like stereotypical Disney princess? And you go, no, they actually did something really, really different with it. I go, what, are they lesbians? And, like, that is, you know, a joke. It's like, it was just this whole thing that, you know, I fucked around about for a little bit. But, like, after seeing that movie, there's a really strong argument that Elsa's whole struggle is this allegory for her being a lesbian.
Well, you know, it's funny enough, the conservative right has actually kind of jumped in then and said, this is propaganda for our children to turn our little girls into lesbians.
Yeah, I mean, like, I can see the argument there. I don't know. You'd have to show me evidence to show that the characters.
Yeah, it's just a bunch of cute white girls.
Part of the whole thing of, like, you know, keep yourself bottled up inside and blah blah blah.
Yeah. It's a giant allegory for fucking, you know, adolescence or whatever, and it's, you know, it's cute and all that, but like, what was it? It's interesting. It's a cute little cartoon. No one can fucking stop singing that fucking song, because you know why? You know, the girl who plays, you know, the Wicked Witch of the West in Wicked sings that song. Okay, anyway, but, yeah.
Back to, I do love the art style in this. It looks fantastic. I'm not going to deny that. The colors, just everything is 100% saturation.
Oh my god, dude, watching this while high was just like, I was so fucking high, like, I was just like, oh, so much nice, so much brown and green and little lights, fucking lights in the trees, bro, and oh my god, like, this is like, really colorful Disney movies are like the best to fucking watch while high.
I really like that every color pops, and even in the stuff with the villain, Disney's pretty well known for the villain's colors being, you know, black and green most of the time, but this, you know, that guy has fucking everything. He's got, like, that first song he does, Friends on the Other Side, there's fucking explosions of just different colors all over.
God, that motherfucker's voice is amazing. He's like, I got friends on the other side. Oh, it's lovely. Friends on the other side.
Yeah, I agree. He's really cool. To go on to something negative I have to say about this movie, and Frozen, and Tangled. The villain plots are kind of weak in these newer Disney movies, and I'm not sure if that's just me having nostalgia for Disney movies that I haven't watched in 20 years, or just, you know, legitimately that they have kind of dropped in quality. Like, the villains, like, I really liked the Shadow Man. He was a really cool villain, but I think not enough time is spent with him, and his whole thing just kind of feels like a side story, honestly, as opposed to the main conflict.
Motherfucker gets dragged to hell at the end, though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, like, don't fuck around with voodoo, kids. I mean, I've tried some voodoo, and it's like, yeah, especially when you're schizophrenic, that's the last thing you want to do.
Okay, anyway. No, what did you two think of, like, his overall, like, plot plan kind of thingy?
Motherfucker just wanted to get rich. He's like, I need money, and but essentially he wanted to sell the souls of the entire town's population to a bunch of fucking, like, what are they called? Allahs? Ulas? Fucking, like...
Whatever.
Those, yeah, they have a certain kind of name. Olos.
Yeah, but that doesn't matter.
Like that. Hey.
We're not going to spend 5 fucking minutes talking about the goddamn names.
Sorry. Anyway, they were cool and stuff.
Yeah, like, I guess he wasn't my biggest problem with it. Like I said, I wish they'd spent more time. But I think the moment that stands out for me as most problematic is things just go a little bit too smoothly toward the end of this movie. The third act kind of wraps up rather quickly. And I guess I think they just kind of missed an opportunity. Tiana has that friend character who I'm trying to remember her name.
Beauregard something.
The white girl?
Yeah, the screeching lady thing.
Yeah, the brat. The spoiled brat.
That's the one.
Yeah, like, she has that friend, and throughout the movie, like, they see that she is a very selfish person, and that all she wants is to be a princess, quote-unquote.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the movie, when the prince, and I'm sorry, names are just not... Prince Naveen, when Prince Naveen tells her about the situation and how he wants her to kiss him so that he can marry Tiana and blah, blah, blah. Like, she tells him he tells her the whole situation, and she goes, okay, I'll kiss you, and no marriage or anything, I'll just do it just because you're my friend, Tiana. Like, don't get me wrong, it's a very sweet moment and everything, but they spend so much time seeding that she's not a good person.
I didn't get that. Like, you, even from the very beginning, you got, like, she's a spoiled brat, like, she's spoiled like a motherfucker, but overall, like, she's not a bad person. Like, I never got the fact that, like,
I said not a good person.
Well, she's not,
like, yes, she's spoiled as a brat, but, like, even that's the beginning, she's a kid, whatever. Then there's the party, and she's, like, really up in arms, and everyone has to do everything her way. And then there's later in the movie when, Tiana is a frog, and they talk about how, Naveen will have to kiss her, and he goes, will she kiss me? Are you a prince? Yeah? Then she'll kiss you. It's just, there's so much seeded to that, and then she just doesn't, and I really thought that it would have been much more compelling if she did kiss Naveen and then refused to, like, change him. Or refused to, like, let him marry Tiana or whatever. I thought that would have been much more compelling.
I know, but, like, it's a Disney movie. And, like, I never got the fact that she's evil, because, it's like, you cannot show a white person, especially a white girl, as an evil person. That's just, you can't do that. We're Disney.
That's not what I'm saying.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
not talking about this in the context of white or black. I'm talking about this purely in a plot structure way. They structured the plot, they seeded this plot line. You cannot look at this movie and tell me that they did not seed it for her to, like, go down this darker path. And I guess that's some of what the drama is in that situation where Naveen is explaining everything to her, because she could very well say this thing and it'd be a much bigger problem for the rest of the movie. But she doesn't, and I was a little let down by that. I thought it would have been much more compelling if they had to find another way to, make it all happen.
I know, but, like, I suppose so, but, like, I don't think it is, because, like, I never really got those signals that, oh, this is a really bad person. Like, if they made her...
say bad person.
Oh, okay, you mean, yes you did, but anyway, I understand what you're saying.
Bad person. I said she's not a good person.
Well, she's not a good person, but she's not completely awful. But, like...
And I didn't say that, did I?
Anyway, but, like, I understand what you're saying. I guess they could have... How could they have, done it otherwise?
Well, I mean, they didn't need her in the end anyway.
Yeah.
So I just thought it would have been more interesting if she refused, since he didn't want to marry her. I think that there was a stronger way to tie her and the villain together somehow.
What do you mean?
just if the villain had talked her out of it at the last minute or something, I don't know. You'd have to rewrite some of the movie, but I'm just saying I think that they seeded her to be like a Judas, and that's not what we ended up getting.
I don't know, like, then I guess you could have had the whole, black people can never have what they can. No happy ending. Always got to be a tragedy. And I understand that. Like, I understand what you're talking about, but I never really got, like, I think the ending was satisfying in itself. Like, seeing the Shadow Man, get screwed over by his, friends on the other side was,
Which I didn't get that either. I mean, like, they know that all they have to do is help him, and 100% they'll get what they want, as opposed to just one guy's soul. So, like, I don't understand why they did that. They were just mad at the time.
The thing is,
very short-sighted shadows.
I don't know. I guess it's just like he owed them so much shit already, and they're like, you know what? Fuck you guys. Like, I bet
they're really bad businessmen.
Well, they're fucking, unholy demons, and demons. Demons. I get, like, from personal experience, they're really bad businessmen. They're really impulsive, and they're just
like I totally won a fucking golden fiddle from this one guy, and it was just like all I had to do was play kind of like a shitty fucking song on it that was clearly not better than his, but he gave it up anyway.
Yeah. It's like you can.
Best fiddle wiped out a Georgia reference.
Ever. Yeah. And
George, he was looking for a soul to steal. He was bad because he was way behind. He was willing to make a deal. When he called across a young boy, sawing on a fiddle and playing it hot, the devil jumped on a hickory stump and said, "Boy, let me tell you what. Though you play a pretty good fiddle, boy, but give the devil's due. I'll bet a fiddle of gold against your soul as to say I'm better than you." Well, the boy said, "My name's Johnny, and it might be a sin, but I'll take your bet, and you're gonna regret, 'cause I'm the best there's ever been. Johnny, rising up your bow and play your fiddle hard. The spells broke loose in Georgia and the devil deals the cards. And if you win, you get this shoddy fiddle made of gold. But if you lose, the devil gets your soul."
I love you should sing more of those songs, my god. I just hit the devil over the head with the golden fiddle and just run away.
Futurama reference.
Indeed.
Yeah. Like, no, just real quick. I love the fact in Futurama they point out that a golden fiddle would sound terrible.
Totally.
Anyway.
Yeah, totally. It would sound awful.
No, but like
a brass fiddle would sound a lot better.
Just to go back to what I was saying though, like it just, they're really bad businessmen in that case then, because everyone knows that you don't kill the person that owes you money, because guess what? You don't get your fucking money back.
Yeah, I know.
You can break their legs, but you can't kill them.
Exactly. That's being a good businessman 101.
Yeah, exactly.
A good, honest businessman.
Like I think it's just a bit of a. I don't want to use the word contrivance because it has way too much of a negative connotation, but it's certainly convenient that they just happen to want him back right then when he's about to, take
She broke the magical thingamabob.
They're fucking magical spirits that can apparently carry frogs across hundreds of miles of land by the toe, even though they're fucking ethereal shadows. I'm pretty sure they got this shit.
Okay. So anyway, but it's a good fucking film. I like it anyway. I understand. Like, say what you like. You can nitpick anything to death, but
I'm not nitpicking though. I think that's a very legitimate criticism.
Oh, okay.
I think the villain plot's weak, and I felt like the villain was unnecessary in Frozen. I felt like they totally ignored one major aspect of the villain in Tangled. So I think a lot of Disney movies have a lot of trouble creating villains.
Funny enough, back in the old days, back in the early 90s, Disney villains knew their shit, son.
I'd like to think so. I think Scar holds up. I'd like to think that, certainly he's crazy, but the Count in Hunchback of Notre Dame, his plan's very, consistent with his character. Yeah, I'd like to think that Jafar has a pretty good plan, actually. Just even as far as modern villains go, his plan works really well.
Definitely.
I like to think that most of the '90s characters hold up. Gaston is a villain, but isn't at the same time, and his motivations are totally consistent.
I mean, if you think about it, from the perspective of Gaston, he's doing the traditional.
Totally the right fucking thing.
Yeah.
He thinks that's Stockholm syndrome.
Yeah.
Which I say she does, because the Beast, he has probably the greatest pickup line ever, which is, "You will attend dinner with me," slams door. Just try that next. Try asking a girl out like that, Milan.
I actually will one day.
You will attend dinner with me. It's just stuff like that.
You will cook me dinner!
Jesus.
This dinner is shit! Slap. Oh, I love you, honey.
Milan comes on Skype later and is like, "Ian, I have so much trouble with the women. I don't know what I'm doing wrong."
Yeah, she called the cops on me. What is this? I gave her house and food and,
I hit her overhead with club just like Papa taught me.
Funny enough, my Papa... Oh, God. Anyway, let's...
Back to the thing. I think that the villain's plan in this is just really... his plan's pretty good, Get the guy to marry the girl and, have control over their marriage and be able to control the town, blah, blah, blah. That's a pretty good plan to pay off his debts and, have power and all this stuff. Very Sith.
Yes, you do.
I think the convenience comes in that we're not given, one, enough time with him, and two, we don't really know what the rules are as far as the friends on the other side go, or what the hell they're thinking when they just kill off the guy that, is the only way they can apparently make their money back, So I think it's a convenience that just happens to come in at the right moment for them to, at the right moment, for them to go get the kiss from the Mardi Gras princess kind of thing. Even though that plan doesn't end up working out anyway. Which, even then, if you're going to have that plan not work out anyway, fuck it. Give the guy a better execution than that.
Yep, that's totally good. Totally good.
Okay.
I agree with you completely. But the thing with Frozen, it was I know you were talking about it a while ago, but watching that movie, I was thinking are they gonna go dark and have this be the actual origin of the Snow Queen? Actually have this be the origin of a Disney villain? That'd be
cool.
But this every time I was watching this, I was like, this could very well be the the origin of Maleficent. She was a princess and then she, got powers and, got seduced by the dark arts or whatever. And this level of tragedy would have been quite good. Oh my God, Elsa is a bad guy. Sure, that would have been a lot more of a ballsy move to go with it.
And I think one of the biggest problems with Frozen is that it ends up having a villain. Spoiler alert. I thought, because here's the thing, he doesn't become the villain until the last 20 minutes of the movie, and you didn't need it because the whole message of the movie is about, misunderstanding and all that stuff, so you don't need a villain for that movie. You can have the exact same ending, basically, without a fucking villain.
Well, I guess it's the whole, you're gonna marry the guy you've just met, and, you don't know who this guy is,
Fair enough, but, whatever, the dude was giving out blankets to the poor. It's really hard to make that guy evil in my head.
Well, he's gonna, leave a girl to die,
Yeah, I know, I'm not saying that he doesn't become evil, but I'm okay, you've shown that the guy is actually good because he gives out blankets to poor people.
Well, he was pretending to be good.
I'm pretty sure giving out blankets to poor people is objectively good no matter the situation.
No, it's not. It's not. It's totally evil. If it's being you always tell, fuck you, how could you say that? You're giving money to the poor is bad because they're gonna go spend it on drugs. What the fuck?
I didn't say money, I said, he didn't give away money, he gave away blankets. See, he gave them something that they can only use in a positive way. The reason you don't give money to poor people is because they'll spend it on drugs, likely, and that will make their situation worse. You give them food, you give them clothes.
Okay.
There's a reason that charity doesn't just work by handing out money on the streets. I should help you be aware of that. No, but like, here's the thing. Frozen, they have this song with like the love at the first sight song. And then they, question her motivations for wanting to get married to a guy she just met. And then they, like, show him giving out blankets to poor people and being very responsible with the power granted to him and stuff. So that would establish him as actually a pretty good guy to marry the second you meet. And then you could have had Steve be the love interest for Elsa later on, because he's got this whole thing like he's enchanted by... He's enthralled by what he's seen her do with ice, and as he says, ice is my whole life. Everything I do comes down to ice, and blah blah blah. So
really, like I felt like that's how I thought it was gonna go. I'm like, oh, this big broad-shouldered fellow is gonna end up with the Ice Queen, and the girl's gonna end up with the prince. And I'm like, I was kind of happy because like, oh, they threw me for a loop.
No, see, like, I would have preferred it go that way, because Elsa, like, introducing the villain in the last 20 minutes of the movie, and I don't know how this turned into a review of Frozen, but whatever, introducing the villain in the last 20 minutes of the movie takes away any real connection to him, because it's just like, it is such a fucking, like, whiplash moment where he goes, oh, I'm evil now.
Oh, yeah.
And
everyone, just to let you know, the reason why this turned into a review of Frozen and not, just a continuation of the review we're supposed to do of Princesses and the Frog is because, well, we're racist, aren't we, Yin?
No, I'm going to get back to Princess
Oh,
and the
okay,
Frog.
then.
We'll spend plenty more time on it.
Okay.
But, no, it's just like, he turns into a villain in the last 20 minutes of the movie, and that just completely sucks away any power he has as a villain. So it just doesn't work, and it would have worked so much better if he just maintained this idea, like, because he has that line where it's like, don't be the monster they say you are, and then it would have been great if he thought that, what's her name? What's the little sister's name?
Anna.
If he thought that Anna was dead and that his kiss didn't work. If he thought Anna was dead and that Elsa was trying to escape and she was making things worse, if he'd gone to try to kill her, but then Anna stopped him at the last second, that would have been your alternate movie. And it would have been significantly better. The movie just falls apart in the last 20 minutes. But anyway, back to Princess and the Frog. Back to the back of the bus.
I know, but like one more thing, like I was expecting like to get really dark, like at that scene where like she sticks like she's about to like the prince is about to behead her. And, like, I was expecting, like, when she, like, I was expecting her eyes to go, really cold, and she like, to send that spike through his neck. And, like, and he just stops moving, and she turns around, and he has, like, a spike through him. I'm like, that would have been badass. Just have a Disney, princess just be a whore, like, turned into a villain now. She's like, fuck you! I will send the world into snow! And she just, holds the old statue of her frozen sister in her castle, and she engulfs the kingdom in ice forever. That would have been Milan Jeftik's favorite ending.
Okay, anyway.
Everyone,
back to the
horrible
back of the bus.
tragedy.
Back to the back of the bus where the black people sit.
That's where you sit. I'm white. Shut up. I'm a white man. I can sit the front. As long as I talk like an American, it'll be all right.
That's another thing about this movie, though. That makes it just a little weird in the time period that they chose. And I guess they kind of touch on it to a point, but this is supposed to be early 1900s America, and
no, it's like 20s.
Slavery was over, but Jim Crow was a thing, and they never really bring it up.
What's Jim Crow anyway? Like, I understand it's
Jim Crow laws are like are just really very particular laws that kind of enable discrimination. And the funny thing about Jim Crow, if there is a funny thing, is that some of the laws are just ridiculously hard to enforce if you think about them like logically. It actually made it, it would make it harder for businesses to operate normally. And like some of the stuff's just silly, like black people and white people have to have separate drinking fountains. Well, no fucking plumber in the world is gonna run a separate water line to each fountain. So honestly, they're both getting the same fucking water.
Oh yeah,
but
totally.
just have one water fountain that says whites and one that says coloreds. And funny story, my uncle actually got in trouble once when he was a little kid because he drank out of the colored water fountain because he was expecting the water to be like purple or something.
Really?
Yeah, but he got in trouble. It's like, oh, only the black people can use that.
Was he like?
So
did they like? Don't drink it, little white boy. I know. Was your grandfather white? From what side of the family?
It was my uncle.
Oh.
And yes, Irish.
Irish.
It's just one of those funny things.
Yeah.
But anyway, see, it wouldn't have worked if it was from the other side of the family, if he wasn't white.
Yeah.
Dumbass. The story would be completely pointless.
Yeah,
So no, it's really weird that this exists totally in the time that Jim Crow would have been, a big deal, and it just never gets mentioned.
Well, it does. Like when she's like, "Oh, a guy came in and gave us some money," and like, "But I have the cash. I'll get it for you tomorrow." Well, yes, but a girl of your can deal.
Yeah, and that's I said that I was like, they do kind of touch on it, but they really don't go into it, and. Yeah, I mean, like, that's discriminate. That just feels more to me like just general discrimination as opposed to Jim Crow in the particular. So I guess it kind of has that Pocahontas thing, too, of slightly rewriting history.
I suppose so, but you can't very well have the Klan in a Disney movie for children.
Why not? I mean, they've had other actual historical, quote-unquote bad guys. Why couldn't you do the Klan?
I'd love to see that now. A Disney princess, a black Disney princess versus the Klan. And no. What they did, they fucking do the same thing they did with fucking Rasputin and have the Klan be a bunch of fucking devil worshippers. And they'll have fucking superpowers from devils and whatever. Like, that'd be awesome.
No, I'm just saying, though, when think about it, logically, though. Like, Disney has done other, quote-unquote history on screen before. So why couldn't you do the Klan?
Pocahontas is one thing, but, that's far enough away, I guess, for Disney to do, like, yeah, we're gonna do that now, okay. But, it's not like they show the Trail of Tears in a Disney movie. It's not like they,
Well, that's because the Trail of Tears wasn't a thing yet. Trail of Tears was the 1800s, Milan.
Well, I know that, but, like, they can't very well just show that type of stuff. They're like, they're doing a movie about fucking Native Americans. Let's show all the tragedy and, beautiful Disney-esque animation.
No, here's the thing. In Pocahontas, they don't focus on the tragedy. They get into it, but they don't focus on it. Their focus is on humanizing the Native Americans and showing that their way of life was just as valid as anyone else's. And that you can't do that focus because, yes, black people are people. We kind of already know that.
Okay.
That the Native American thing was a very popular theme at the time, a la Dances with Wolves. But, we know black people are people. We've known that for quite a while now. So if you're setting something in this time period, like you said earlier, if they'd done it in ancient Egypt, it wouldn't have been a fucking thing, because it's Egypt. Yes, there are black people. Though it would have been weird to see black people with slaves.
Yeah.
No, but like, if you're doing it in this time period, it's kind of weird not to really make it a part of your plot.
I suppose so, but I guess
because, like, can you imagine, like, how would they have done a Pocahontas, like a movie instead of Pocahontas? Like, say they did a Native American Disney movie that wasn't Pocahontas in place of Pocahontas.
Well,
where
how many stories are there that are not genocide-y enough? Like, we need a story about
like, that's not what I'm saying.
between. I understand what you're saying, but like Pocahontas.
No, you're not, because that's not where I was fucking going with it.
Oh.
Say they did a Native American story. Like, I guess you could have pulled from Native American mythology, which maybe would have made it feel more Disney, but still, it doesn't quite work that way. I don't know. Just the thought I have right there.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Mama Odie is a badass, though.
Oh, yeah, she was really cool. I thought it was a little annoying that they go through the song and, Tiana's whole thing is, I gotta work even harder to get my restaurant. Really, girl? You're that fucking stupid.
Like, oh, woman, you and your dreams.
Like that was a bit awkward.
Woman, get to find a man that can pay for all your shit.
Right.
That's
Mama
the
part of the movie that kind of like, this is problematic. It's like, I'm gonna work at my restaurant all by myself.
I get we're making fun, but we get it. Like, why couldn't you just say, oh, well, get married. You would become a princess. Technicality in the spell, yada yada. I'm like, okay. Yeah. Oh, but anyway, before we move on, like, I've recently went and saw Maleficent. It's basically...
Dude, we keep turning this into reviews for other Disney movies. Can we just focus on Princess and the Frog?
Okay, I'll talk about Maleficent after we're done with Princess and the Frog. Okay, go ahead.
Alright, but no, yeah, I liked her. She was pretty badass when she takes out the shadow monsters. That was fucking cool.
Like, when old black ladies talk, I just get a smile and a joy in my heart, because I'm like, yay, old black lady talking, hooray.
I think my favorite line of hers had to be, shut up and look in the gumbo.
I gotta, I was talking to this one girl on Skype once, and she was eating gumbo on camera. I'm like, I don't know what that is, but it looks fucking delicious.
Gumbo's good.
I want to try gumbo. Like, seeing a cute black girl seeing a cute black girl eating gumbo was just like the most amazing internet experience I have ever had.
Oh, well, thanks a lot, Milan. Go
You're my second greatest internet experience.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's supposed to make me feel better, huh?
I suppose so. Well, I'm not here to make you feel better, bitch.
Yeah, anyway. Nothing like... I really liked her. She was a fun character, and she was probably one of the more entertaining things about the movie overall. Mm-hmm. The character that annoyed the fuck out of me was the fucking lightning bug, and it's one of those things like, yes, you killed him.
Like Lava, like the Shadow Man steps in him, and he just gonna flips his collar like a fucking boss. It's like,
that
yeah,
was cool.
He's like, just...
I gotta say, I was actually really impressed with Disney that they fucking killed a character.
Yeah, and that crunch sound.
It seems like they haven't fucking done that in forever.
Yeah, more depth in Disney movies. We want like the whole Mufasa thing, but like times 1,000. Beat yourself in every movie. Some loving character must die in an awful, awful way.
Just have George R.R. Martin write a fucking Disney movie. It'll be.
Oh my God, yes. And then they cut off his dick because. Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Dude, I'm watching season 4 of Game of Thrones. Spoilers.
Everyone fucking watched it. Fuck it. Yeah.
No. Theon is like a fucking Theon has like Stockholm syndrome right now. Like he's still under captivity of the dude that cut his dick off, and he's like his servant, and like he's got this slave mentality now, and he just. Like, his sister came into the castle and fucking killed all the guards and tried to get him out. She's like, Theon, come with me. He's like, no, it's a trick. I'm not Theon. I've never been Theon. My name is Reek. My name is Reek. My name is Reek. And, like, he was just, like, been brainwashed, and she was so fucking terrified. It's like, oh my God. This is creepy as shit. Anyway.
That is some fucked up shit. Yeah, so, genital mutilation on the Geeky Gentleman. Hooray! While talking about a fucking Disney movie. Only on this show that nobody watches will we have genital mutilation and, getting brought up during a discussion about a Disney movie.
You brought it up, fucker.
Okay, fine.
Anyway. No, but the fucking lightning bug character annoyed the shit out of me. Oh, one thing I gotta mention before I forget is, okay, Tiana has by far gotta have the greatest idea ever. Like, she's going to have one of the best businesses of all time. Not because she's a good cook. Fuck all that shit. I don't care. She has a jazz band with a trumpet-playing alligator.
I know, right? I mean, like it doesn't...
No, hold on. We're not done yet. It's not only a trumpet-playing alligator. It's like, that seems like, oh, you probably just stuck a trumpet in the thing's mouth and it plays like a note. And, like, no, it actually does songs. Go, okay, fine, you trained an alligator to do one song over and over. And it's, like, probably chained up in the side. No, dude, it does improv-style jazz with a live band and dances around the stage the whole fucking time. Holy shit.
I know, like
that I can see.
That regardless of race and whatever, and during that time period, you fucking pay good money to see a fucking trumpet playing alligator, motherfucker. I don't give a fuck. That's amazing.
You would definitely play good. No, it's like it was almost like a Family Guy scene when they did, like, I guess his origin of motivations, where like, why don't you ever play with the people? And it just like it's totally a fucking Family Guy cutaway gag when it happens, but it was shit. It was fucking hilarious. By far my favorite moment in the whole movie. The fucking alligator gets up and starts playing with the band, and everybody fucking shoots at him.
It's amazing. I love that fucking thing.
Oh my god, it's so fucking Family Guy, isn't it?
Oh my god, it's so fucking hysterical.
It just cracked me up because it was such a Family Guy cutaway gag. It just
my dad just came in and is looking at my little brother and saying, "Are you an idiot?" in Serbian. It just does that. It just comes in and asks you like demeaning questions. Are you an idiot? Say yes. Say yes. And then he went off to the bathroom. Oh, Dad. Like, I gotta laugh, or I'm gonna start crying. Like, I want to see a Disney movie made of my life.
I don't think that they'd be able to do that.
Oh, they'll figure something out. They'll fucking do something with it. I don't know. Disney is inventive. They'll fucking figure something out.
Okie day. No, but like I'm just trying to think of other things that I really enjoyed in this movie, because I feel like I've been a little too negative about it. But no, overall I do enjoy the movie. Like I said, I think the villain is the biggest problem with it. But overall I really do like the movie. How about you, Milan?
I really fucking like it. Like when I first watched it, I loved it, and when I watched it high, I really loved it. And yeah, it's fucking like 5 out of 5 stars. You know, like I'd really like to see more movies like this. I don't want Tiana to just be the only black princess with a sea of white face.
Which almost makes it worse that she's the only one, you know?
Well, there's like Jasmine and Pocahontas and, you know...
Well, no, but they're not black. That's the problem.
I suppose so. Like, more black princesses. I want to see more of that.
Yeah. I don't know. It's one of those things. The race thing is really hard to not notice in this movie, I think. Like, you know, it's one of those things. If I'd seen it when I was a kid, it wouldn't matter. But now that I'm an adult, now that I know the history of Disney, and now that I'm aware of social problems, it's really hard to look past. So my recommendation about this film, parents, show it to your kids. As early as you possibly can, show it to your kids, because it'll integrate the idea of personhood much better than any bullshit classes people are taking their kids to.
Yeah. If you point out, like, oh, we gotta treat these other people with dark skins like humans, do that.
And it won't happen, and that's the thing. It's like, you need to... Like, I grew up next to a black family. One of my dad's best friends and business colleagues was a Hispanic guy, and, you know, one side of my family's Hispanic. So I grew up in a way in which it took a very long time for me to realize that there was a difference of treatment between people of color and people that are white.
Yeah.
Like, even though I'm only half white. And like,
you're only half white,
yeah. Yeah. So it took a very long time for me to notice that, and I was really naive of it until I was in high school. And let me tell you just how naive I was. So I was suspended in my junior year of high school. Go ahead and ask me why.
Why?
Because I was carrying around a tiny noose.
Why?
Well, I was at that stage, I was like 16, 17, where I had the, you know, skulls and death and stuff, and I just thought it looked cool. And honestly, the idea of lynching never entered my brain when I had it, until I walked past a teacher and dropped it, and he saw it, and the guy was black. and he was all kinds of pissed off, and he sat down and talked to me about it. Like, he was very smart about it and stuff. He sat down and talked to me, and there was another black student sitting next to him that saw it, and he was 10 times pissed off.
Well, aren't you like proper brown Hispanic, even though you're half white or whatever?
Yeah, and that's why they didn't quite get it. But no, even more than that, fucking Phil had one, and Phil's very black. Well, not actually, shit. Phil's mixed too, but still, you know, you look at Phil and black guy.
Yeah.
But no, anyway, so like he's sitting there and he's trying to get it out of me, and you know what I think of when I see a noose, because this is how not racist I am? I think of the fucking Crucible. I think of fucking the witch trials, the Salem witch trials is the first thing that enters my head when I see a noose.
Oh.
So like that's how not racist I was, because it didn't even enter into my mind that there was a racial context to it. Even though I have a very good background in history and I knew that lynchings were a thing, I don't associate nooses with black people. And that's how much trouble I got into. So growing up, and it's because I grew up in just a completely assimilated environment where, you know, my neighbors that were in a bigger house than us, it's a black family. You know, so I just grew up, you know, expecting that black people were just like me. And that just really kind of altered my life in such a way that I wasn't able to see why, I didn't think about perceiving what would offend people of race. And so I think that's a good way to raise kids. And is just through experience, integration through experience, not through forced experience, just genuine experience.
Yeah. I mean, it's like, you got your own back. You're like, you know, you were kind of treated a lesson afterwards. Like not too long ago, you said like, "Oh, I took a white girl to the south and, you know, walked around the town's fair and got dirty looks and whatever."
No, it wasn't to the south. It was out to fucking Hoagland, which is, I mean, technically speaking, Haley lives in Hoagland, but it's very outer reaches. So I take one road from my house to hers, and like it's just maybe a 15-minute drive, and I'm in Hoagland.
So you're a mochaccino person. You're a half-breed mochaccino person taking out a cute little blonde, blue-eyed white girl to Redneck Central.
No. This was actually my the story you're talking about. That was my first girlfriend, Lynn. She lived middle of Hoagland, and let me describe Hoagland for everyone that's listening. So imagine, if you will, a large field with a road running through the middle of it. And in this road, you eventually get to a crossroad where there's a stop sign.
No.
And you have to stop at the stop sign. And you look to your left, and there's a gas station. You look forward to your left across the street, and there's a church / elementary school. And that's it. And there are houses at different areas in the distance all around, but, you know, it's farmland, so it's just very, very large expanse. That's Hoagland. That's all Hoagland is. It's a fucking gas station, a stop sign, and a church. That's all Hoagland is, besides the houses and farms. And they have this thing called fucking Hoagland Days, where they, you know, hire a bunch of carnies to come out and put up fucking rides and games and shit. And Lynn's all fucking, "Hey, you should take me to Hoagland Days and it'll be fun." And I'm like, "Oh, okay, sure, fucking whatever." And I walk in there and everyone's looking at me and I'm like, white person, white person, white person, white person, white person, white person, white person. Oh shit. Whew. This is not a good situation to be in.
Yeah. Well, my experience with race is just like, when we first came here to Australia, first we lived around in, you know, boarding houses, then we moved over to my uncle family member's place, and then we moved to Liverpool. And Liverpool is essentially where, you know, Australia dumps all their immigrant people. So we got a bunch of, you know, proper Nigerians, people from the Middle East, China, you know, Hindu people, people from India, you know, Eastern Europeans. We're just a giant mixing pot. And, for the longest time as a kid, I've never properly seen an Australian white person. You see, I went to, you know, to primary school, and I saw a bunch of people, but they were like immigrant children, and the white person that I did see, like, they were kind of weirdly, kind of was something wrong with them. So I'm like, is this just a place where all the beautiful white people drop their degenerate young? You know?
Yes.
It's just like I grew up in the pit where the Spartans dropped their degenerate young.
Well, I'm just a child that crawled out of the pit at the beginning of 300.
Yeah. And essentially,
Milan is Euryphiles. Or whatever
Euryphiles. Mickey, stop touching my face. Anyway, stop touching my face, Mickey. I'm trying to tell a story. Anyway, and like, Mickey, shut up. Anyway. And, like, my experiences with, like, people of a different race was just kind of like, yes, that is just my neighbors, whatever. And, like, I've never, like, I was so fucking naive, because when I was a little kid and I, first got to primary school, I hated all Australian people. I'm like, you fucking Australians, I want to go back to great-grandmother in Moscow. You're all a bunch of bastards. And then, like, I sat down on this, it was like some sort of class. They talk about, Mikish, don't do that. They talk about, like, the Aboriginal treatment, the treatment of Aboriginals in Australia. And, like, as a little fucking primary school kid, I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck is wrong with you Australians? Why would you steal the children of all these Aboriginal kids?
We call them Australis.
Australis, yes. Well, you stupid Australis, why do you, they
Why
basically...
do you teach us such nonsense?
Shut up, Mickey. And I was so fucking, freaked out at, like, what the, Australians did to the Aborigines. I kind of, I just insult them, like, you horrible monsters, what the fuck have you done? And I'm like, then I learned American history and what they did to the blacks. I'm like, oh, okay, then I guess you Australians are not that bad.
And then I learned Russian history, and that just under 50 years ago at that point, they had, elected a man, or they had put a man in power that, starved everybody and just let them die.
Oh, yeah, how dare you talk badly about, grandfather Stalin? He was a good man.
Yeah, sure, let's go with those. Just abuse people. And not only, like, Stalin's one of the worst people in history, because not only did he let his people starve and everything, but the motherfucker refused, he let his people starve because they weren't producing the crops that he wanted, blah, 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 and it was all about, the nation surviving forever, blah, blah, blah. But he refused world aid. It wouldn't have cost him anything to let people live, but he wouldn't let them bring it in. Stalin.
Yeah, Stalin, like fucking
I'm insulted that people don't remember Stalin, which is why I like to talk about him as much as I do.
Oh, totally.
Because people don't know that he existed, and
What?
Yeah, I've met people who don't know who Stalin is. For a while, I carried around a picture of Stalin in my wallet, and people would look at it and go, who's that guy?
Tweet that shit.
Yeah, and people would look at it and go, who's that guy? Is that, like, your dad or something? And, I have this, shirt with a picture of Superman, like, doing the classic, arms on the hips pose, but I photoshopped Stalin's head looking up, and I put Man of Steel, just because I want someone to ask me who it is, because then I can at least educate people. And I think that joke is hilarious, by the way. And no one gets it, which disappoints me. Because Stalin wasn't his real name, he changed it, and in Georgian, Stalin means Man of Steel. Anyway.
Totally, that is awesome. And I'm like,
anyway, so like,
really, people don't know it. People in America,
no, people don't fucking know who Stalin is because no one cares about history.
That is
but like
so
Stalin is clearly much more evil than Hitler ever was, in my opinion.
Because Hitler was at least fucking competent. Hitler fucking, say what you will, he was an awful fucking monstrous human being, but he said, I'm gonna turn Germany into a fucking powerhouse and make them, I'm gonna give you, like, riches and greatness. And he did that. Sure, he fucking destroyed and killed and built it on the skeletons of the Jews and whatever. But he, what, Papa? Yeah. Stop.
In any case, no, like, Stalin is clearly a worse person than Hitler, because, I mean, the last time I heard, the estimate was somewhere between 22 and 50 million people died because of him, so, you know, not a fan of Stalin, but anyway. Historical context and everything aside, sorry guys, this got kind of crazy. Milan and I always tend to go off when it comes to history. But anyway, thank you for listening. We're gonna do, we're gonna do our score, and then we'll come up with something for next week. I guess I'll just come up with the idea for next week.
No, I want to come up. You stole my turn for this week.
Okay, do you have an idea then?
Yeah. Okay. Sorry. I'll just keep talking. Screaming.
Okay. All right. So we're gonna give Milan a minute because family crises happen. It's understandable. Just Milan happens to have them more than any other human being on the planet. Every fucking hour, it's some kind of, life or death thing that's gonna completely define the family.
Yeah, my father just hit me with a shirt. I'm like, oh, you've gotten fat, old man. Anyway, where was I?
Let's go ahead and do a score.
Okay. I give it 5 out of 5. Alligators playing the trombone.
Damn it! All right. I'll give it 3.5 out of 5. Pots of magical gumbo.
Oh, that's good. That's really good.
Okay, you stole mine, but okay.
Yeah. But one more thing, I don't know, I really I don't know, just it's weird. Never mind. One more little thing about Maleficent. I recently saw it, and go see Maleficent, dude. It's essentially one giant rape allegory.
Okay. Anyway, what is going to be our topic for next week?
Next week, we're going to be reviewing the Russian movie Tsar.
No, we don't do a review next week. It's a discussion.
Oh, it's about Ivan the Terrible.
Then save it, but we're going to do a discussion next week.
Well, we're going to do a discussion about Ivan the Terrible, and as resource, we're going to...
No, dude, come on. We're going to do a discussion debate topic. Come on.
Oh, come on. You stole my thing today. Can we just do it, please?
I stole your thing because I thought we were going to have a guest and it didn't work out. I'm sorry.
Come on.
But we need a debate topic.
I really want to watch the... Okay, how about we watch this film and then we can debate, stuff about it.
No, dude, just give me a fucking debate topic. I'll steal another one.
Come on, it's not fair. I really wanted this one to be my thing.
Well, we'll do it next time then. It's no big deal. I don't mind watching it because you've talked about it and it sounds interesting, but we have a format, Milan.
Okay, fine. The format for the people who don't watch our shit. Anyway,
you ever consider that maybe people just don't like being told that they don't watch it, so they quit listening? Well, float that idea out there. Because I know if I were watching someone that's just like, no one fucking watches my shit, I'd be like, well, fuck it, you're not grateful for my view, and I'd just turn it off.
Okay, fine. I'm kidding. We're really grateful for your views, guys, and girls, and whatever. We love you. Don't we, Ian? We love them.
Oh, I love everybody.
Yeah, me too.
Except for those people that I hate.
Yeah. I even hate
you. You know who you are, motherfuckers. I'll be waiting.
Anyway, I really have nothing. No.
Okay, do you want me to take it? Because I do have one that it's been percolating that I do think will be fun anyway.
Okay, go ahead.
We're going to be discussing fictional politics.
Fiction? Oh my god, this is going to be awesome.
Right? We're going to be like Game of Thrones, Star Wars, Star Trek. It's going to be on, man.
I really want to talk about superhero politics. I mean, how would that work?
Yeah, we'll get into that too. It'll be awesome. All right. So thank you for listening. Until next time, I'm the Philosopher.
And I am the Madman.
And we are your geeky gentlemen. And we will be discussing things.
Yep.